Hi, guys. Just a sec. Hang on. Here I come. I'm coming. I'm coming. There, that's better. Hi, everybody. How are you tonight? Oh, my gosh. Obs, hi. Oh, my goodness. Hello. Welcome. Yay. You're having a long day, my friend. And there's Linda and Tamra. Yay. Who is telling the story? It's me. Welcome, welcome. Yay. I'm glad to have you guys here. Sorry, I jumped in a minute or so late. I had the desk set up with Raggedy Ann and her friends to film a couple of her shorts about candy heart wisdom. And she kind of took a little extra time to get cleaned up. And so kind of left me in a lurch there. Like, what? Come on, Raggedy, get out of the way. I have to get ready for my show. to tell some stories. Oh man, I hope you guys are doing well. I have my water with me because I need it. And it's funny how it seems like only in about the past 2 hours that I've kind of finally felt connected today. The whole day started out, I got a lot of sleep, but I was just so disconnected and lethargic and different things. And so I didn't go out for my walk. I didn't do my walk today, which was my mistake. I need to do that. See? That's why I'm yawning. And I even took a nap. Crazy. Yes. So it's good to be here though. You know, feeling really tired. Tamara, it must be a bucket filling overflow day that we're all just like, a little bit. Yeah. So tonight, and I was looking at the stories that I had collected, and I had some from the library. I said that I was thinking about sharing, but I also have some of these other ones that I have, and I decided that I would do these ones that kind of show a different point of view. You know, like who tells the story? You go and you hear the story from one person, and then you hear it from somebody else, and you hear it from somebody else, and it always changes. It's always changing. So I found a book that I really chose mainly because of the artwork, and you guys are going to love this. If I can find it, because I'm going to have to read the story from my phone and then show you the pictures, of course, there, because it's written in English and Chinese. Because it is a book that was done to show this, and it was done by different artists and different things. Let's see, it says it was published in Beijing, and the artwork is just incredible. I have no idea. Into the bit again. So, but I do know that the artwork was done by quite like supposedly a compilation of people, but it is a traditional telling of more of the original type story of this story rather than the kinds that have been told by others. And then I have a couple more versions of it. And so that's what I have for you tonight. So, north of you is getting the heat. We are still in winter, it seems, instead of the middle of summer. Yeah. Tamara is in Australia, so she's in the middle of summer. But yeah, we've had a warmer week this week, but it's also been today was wet and damp, and we had a north wind coming in, so I just never kind of completely warmed up. So back to the stories. What I'm going to share tonight is variations on Little Red Riding Hood, as if you couldn't tell from the opening. And, it's that point of view. So let's see if I can go to this first one for the screen share. Good. It's showing up. And you can see it. It might look just a little fuzzy to you. I hope it doesn't, but I think it's okay. This is Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, don't do that. I don't want program up. There we go. And I chose this one not only because it's the traditional story, but because it is really, it's really the artwork in this was just something that I thought you guys would really, really enjoy. See, we got to get it past all of these, and we'll get you to the page where it starts. There we go. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there lived a lovely girl. Oops, dang it. There we go. Her grandmother loved her very much and gave her a red hood. She wore it every day, so people called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother told her, "Grandma is ill. Go and visit her and bring her some cakes and fruit. She will be very glad to see you." Little Red Riding Hood agreed and got ready to go. "Don't run too fast and don't play in the forest," her mother said. "All right," said Little Red Riding Hood. Then she set off. Her grandmother's house was in the forest, far from that of Little Red Riding Hood's. When Little Red Riding Hood went into the forest, she saw a wolf. "Hello, what's your name? Where are you going?" the wolf asked. "I'm Little Red Riding Hood. I'm going to my grandma's house. She is ill," Little Red Riding Hood answered. "Where does your grandma live?" the wolf asked, as he came up with an evil idea. "At the end of this road, under the oak tree," Little Red Riding Hood said. The big bad wolf wanted to eat both of them. He said to Little Red Riding Hood, "Why don't you slow down and have some fun in the forest? Why not take a look at the beautiful flowers? Why not listen to the birds singing? How can you just keep walking so fast?" "He is right," Little Red Riding Hood thought. "It's still early. I can play a while and pick some flowers for Grandma." So she began to play in the forest. She picked flowers, caught butterflies, and chased after rabbits. She was so happy. The wolf came to Grandma's cabin and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" Grandma asked. "Grandma, it's Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said in a little girl's voice. "Oh dear, come in, please," Grandma said. And the wolf went inside and swallowed Grandma. Then he put on her clothes and lay in bed. Little Red Riding Hood had great fun in the forest. When she arrived at her grandmother's house, she found the door open. She felt a bit strange, but she still went in. Grandma, I'm coming. Where are you? She asked. There was no reply. Little Red Riding Hood came close to the bed. Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood said, why are your ears so big? I want to hear you say what you say more clearly. Grandma, why are your eyes so big? I want to see you more clearly. Grandma, why is your mouth so big? I want to eat you up with it. And the wolf jumped up and swallowed Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf was full and soon fell asleep. He snored loudly. Just then, a hunter passed by. He was Grandma's friend. He heard the strange snoring and went inside to see what had happened. He saw the wolf lying in bed, but he didn't shoot him. He thought maybe Grandma was still alive in the wolf's stomach. So the hunter cut open the wolf's stomach with scissors. Little Red Riding Hood jumped out and said, "It was so dark inside. I was so scared." Then the hunter saved Grandma as well. Just then the wolf woke up and tried to run away, and the hunter shot him dead. The hunter left, and Grandma had some cakes and fruit Little Red Riding Hood had brought. She felt better. When Little Red Riding Hood went back home, she said to her mother, "Mom, I'll never play in the forest or talk to the wolf again." A few days later, Little Red Riding Hood went to take her grandmother some fruit. On her way to Grandma's house, she saw another wolf. She didn't talk to the wolf and ran straight to her grandmother's house. The wolf was very angry. "I saw another wolf," Little Red Riding Hood told Grandma. "Maybe he has followed you here," Grandma said. "Let's shut the door." Before long, the wolf came to the door. He banged on the door but couldn't get in. The wolf didn't give up and jumped onto the roof. He waited there because he wanted to eat Little Red Riding Hood on her way home. Grandma detected the wolf's plan. She said to Little Red Riding Hood, "I cooked some sausages this morning and left some soup. Go and bring some soup to the stone pot in front of the house." Little Red Riding Hood did as her grandma told her, and the wolf smelled the sausage soup. He stretched his neck so long to smell the soup that he fell into the pot and drowned. Little Red Riding Hood went home happily, and from then on, no wolf dared to bother her again. Okay, so I apologize. It's interesting to try to follow along and get this story to go along because it's written in both languages. The pictures are not only always lined up, but exactly, Tamara, the softness of the illustrations and it on the copyright page and whatnot, that's not translated into English, so I can't tell what the artwork is done in. I don't know if you guys what you think, but I think it's done in pastel. Don't you? I mean, the look at it. I'm just going back to the beginning of the one in on my phone here to see if. Nope, nope. None of it is in English on this. Nope, nope. Uh, nope, nope. It just seems like pastels to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? It is. That's a different tale. Yes. Oh no. So it is. Yeah. Anyway, so that's there. Let's go back up to here. And that was the first Little Red Riding Hood. And then the one that I have, the next one I have, of course, I found one that had a dragon in it. Okay. So that, I had to go for that one. So they're not exactly the traditional tales tonight. We know the story of Little Red Riding Hood, but we're going to take it in a little bit different route here. So the next one, if I can get to the beginning of it, is called Little Red Riding Hood and the Dragon. It's written by Yin Chang Compostine and illustrated by Joy Ang. And it is fun. Well, you know me. I love dragons, so it's going to be fun. Let's see what everybody's saying here. Still burning. Gorgeous book. It is a different tale. Yes, pastels or soft pencils. Tamara, that's what I thought too. It seemed very much like that. Yeah, had that pastel. My friends that are pastel artists here that I go to tarts with. Dragons, yay! Yes, dragons. Woohoo! All right, let's go to another screen share page. And I got this one. Get this a little bit up there so you don't have to see me. All right, Little Red Riding Hood and the Dragon. Again, the illustrations. And at least for these two, we're staying in the Chinese theme. Little Red Riding Hood and the Dragon. By now, you have probably heard the old folk tale about a girl in a red cape. She and her grandmother were gobbled up by a wolf, but were rescued by a woodsman. The truth is that the tale took place here in China. There wasn't a woodsman, and I, the gentle wolf, certainly was not the one who ate them. Here is the real story. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl in the village near the Great Wall. When her grandma, Nai Nai, sewed her a red silk hood for her kung fu performance, she loved it so much that she wore it everywhere. People began to call her Little Red Riding Hood or Little Red. One day, Little Red and her mother learned that Nai Nai was sick. They gathered herbs and cooked a pungent soup. Then they baked a big, sweet rice cake. Her mother put the soup and cake into a basket and said, "Take this to Nai Nai. Stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." "Don't worry, Mommy." Little Red drew her sword and leaped into a flying back kick. "I'm a good kung fu fighter. I can protect myself." She picked up the basket and ran out of the house. Little Red stayed on the path and soon saw her grandmother's house in the distance. Suddenly, a dragon blocked her way. "Where are you going, little girl?" Dragon asked in a sweet voice. To my grandmother's, she answered. Where does she live? There. And she pointed to a red house in the shadow of the great wall. Dragon moved closer. What's in your basket? A rice cake and herbal soup for my sick grandma. P.U. Is that awful smell coming from the soup? Dragon pinched his nose and stepped back. Yes, but it will help her get better, said Little Red. That smelly soup will only make her sicker, laughed Dragon. You know what would make your grandma better? Ginseng. My mother and I looked for it, but we couldn't find any. Well, there's a big ginseng root under that old tree. And Dragon pointed to the forest. Oh, thank you. I must get it for my grandma. And Little Red forgot what her mother had told her and ran off the path. Meanwhile, Dragon hurried to Nai-Nai's house and knocked on the door. Is that you, my Little Red Riding Hood? Yes, Nai-Nai, said Dragon in a high-pitched voice. Come in, my dear. I am too weak to get up. And Dragon burst into the house, and without a word, he leaped over to Nai-Nai and swallowed her whole. Then he put on one of her nightgowns and cap and slid under the bed covers. When Little Red reached Nai-Nai's house, she was surprised to find the door half open. Nai-Nai, she called. Who is that? Asked a hoarse voice. It's me, Little Red. I brought you something special. Oh, my dear, come in, come in. In the dark room, Little Red saw Nai-Nai's nightcap peeking out of the blankets on the bed. Nai-Nai, what happened to your voice? Oh, my dear, I'm sick with a sore throat. I dug a ginseng root for you. It will help you get better. Oh, my dear. A large hand reached for the ginseng. Nai-Nai, what large hands you have. Oh, my dear, all the better to hold you with. And Nai-Nai, what big eyes you have. Oh, my dear, all the better to see you with. And Nai-Nai, what big teeth you have. Oh, my dear. All the better to eat you with. And Dragon gobbled up Little Red and her basket and topped it off with the ginseng. Little Red slid down Dragon's throat and landed on something soft. Nai-Nai, shouted Little Red. Oh, no, he ate you too, cried Nai-Nai. Don't cry, Nai-Nai, Little Red hugged her grandma. Look at everything he has gobbled up. Little Red rummaged through the piles in Dragon's tummy. How will we get out of here? Sobbed Nai-Nai. You rest, Nai-Nai. I have an idea. Little Red pulled a yo-yo from the heap, twirled it, and flung it high. The yo-yo bounced off of Dragon's stomach above her head. Dragon yelped, eyes wide open in surprise. Taking the ribbons in her hand, Little Red spun around, drawing circles in the air. And the soft silk tickled Dragon's belly, making him quiver and gasp for breath. Little Red blew on a suwana as hard as she could, while Nai-Nai pounded on a drum. Dragon was so startled that he covered his ears and ran out of the house. And then Little Red did her very best kung fu moves, axe kicks, crescent kicks, and roundhouse kicks. Dragon roared with pain. Little Red splashed the herbal soup around. Dragon's tummy churned like a wild sea. He gagged and retched. And then up came the soup, along with the yo-yo, ribbons, musical instruments, nai-nai, and at last, Little Red, sword in hand. Little Red jumped in front of Dragon and ordered, "Scram!" And Dragon did. And to this day, Dragon stays far away from girls in red capes. I know because I saw it firsthand. And now, that's the real story. I don't know how people ended up with a silly folk tale that gave me, the gentle wolf, a bad reputation. I love that. Now, this is the author's note was funny. Little Red Riding Hood is one of her favorite folk tales. When I was little, I would have loved to have a cape like hers, as red as the lucky color of China. Like her, I also had a close relationship with my grandmother, Nai Nai, who helped raise me. For years, I wondered how the story would have ended if the woodsman had not come to the rescue. The question led me to write my version of the story. Girls don't always need rescuing. I hope that my take on this folktale will empower those who read it and demonstrate that we can solve our own problems. Chinese martial arts, also known as kung fu, consist of several hundred different fighting styles developed over centuries. Many Chinese children begin their study of martial arts at an early age to help discipline and self-defense. Kung fu swords are very popular among girls who study martial arts. When I was young, my mother bought me home a wooden training sword. For 2 years, I studied with one of our neighbors, an elderly doctor. Every morning, I would get up early to practice giving different kung fu sword moves before going to school. I was never that good, but it gave me a lot of confidence. Dragons in Chinese mythology have many forms, but they are often depicted as very large and snake-like with 4 legs. Dragons symbolize power and strength. The ancient Chinese even believed that solar eclipses were caused by a dragon gobbling up the sun. Traditional Chinese medicine is based on thousands of years of medicinal practice. This is funny. One of the key elements is treating patients with herbal soup. The soup can be very pungent. The dragon's reaction to the medicine was inspired by my son. When he was young, whenever I cooked herbal soup, he would pinch his nose and threaten to throw up. He never did. Ginseng roots are believed to boost immunity and combat many diseases. The best wild ginseng roots resemble a human figure and are called renshen, or root of person in Chinese. In 2007, a Chinese buyer paid $400,000 for a 300-year-old ginseng root that weighed less than a pound. I've visited different parts of the Great Wall. It was the longest wall in the world, stretching 13,171 miles from the western Gobi Desert and ending in the eastern Bohai Sea. It is also called the Earth Dragon because its undulating form resembles a dragon with its head dipping into the Bohai Sea. The Chinese letters above Nahai's bed read, "Ignorance is bliss," a saying often found in Chinese homes. Oh my goodness. I love that about this story. All right. And dragons. I'm loving this already. This is hilarious. I did Zendo Kai with my boys, and my boys, oh, that's nice. I have never, the only thing I've ever done close to it is Tai Chi. And I know that's not really a martial art, although it's a form of discipline. And I really enjoyed it. Okay. There is one more that I have. And this one is not really, it doesn't have a lot of words. So gonna kind of have to watch. It's called Wolf in the Snow, but the illus I mean, we're going all over the place with art tonight in the books. They're just so different. But this one did have that aspect of the red cape, the red and what it did, but uh, it's not really a true Red Riding Hood story, but you get the idea that the inspiration came from, at least in some part, from Little Red Riding Hood. Um, so let's go to one more right here. There, Wolf in the Snow by Matthew Cordell. Oh, there we go. This, like I said, this has very few words, and a lot of it is just told in the pictures. So you'll get a lot of snow and white. There's the little girl. She's got her red cape on in the house, the dog, and the parents. Bark, bark, bark. Off she goes. Walking along the path. There's a wolf family, and in the middle, there's a small, tiny little wolf, a wolf pup. If you've never been around a pack of wolves or wolf pup, those little guys tend to scamper all over the place, and it takes an entire pack to keep track of them. This was done in 2017. The artwork was created with pen and ink with watercolor. So the child's leaving school, and there is the wolf pack, and you can see that it's starting to snow. I love how they made the snow get heavier and heavier, and then the forest just starting to show. And there's the wolf pack and the little one falling behind. There's the two different viewpoints of them coming into the forest. Huff, huff, whine, whine. Whine, whine, whine. He's scared. And they're walking along, and he sinks. And she's carrying him, and he howls. And there's the question of the howl. And they trudged up the hill toward the sound, the howling sound of the wolves with the pup in her arms. Howl, growled at by, what was that? A wolverine? Could be. Yelled at by a screech owl. Following the howl through the snow, following it until there they come. Sniff, sniff, lick. And the mother takes one. And the child's like, phew, made it through that. And they're walking. And bark, huff. Now here's the bark. And some lights. And the wolves are following to make sure they're finding, ah, she's fallen asleep or fallen into the cold and is trying to keep warm. And the little one is licking, and the rest are howling. The other dog. Next thing you know, they're found. That's what a little kindness will do. And there they are. Like I said, no words, just other than howl and sniff and think. It's just a great story, but it tells so much. And the way the illustrations are done, you know, especially at the beginning there, when the snow is just starting, coming and it's starting to snow and it's getting worse. I thought that was really well done. This is an interesting thing too with the two different viewpoints. Just a cool way to do that. Just a cool way. One I wanted to bring to you guys. Let's see. I don't think it has anything about the author. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, just has the howling wolf at the end. Yay. There we go. Anyway, let me make sure. Yep. Go back to that. And here we go. Yep. Cool book, and the visuals tell the story. The art pieces can, like the art. Yeah, it's so wonderful. Anyway, that is the stories that I had kind of around Little Red Riding Hood. I have another one, but it's longer, and so it'll take a whole evening. And it's uh, it's just kind of funny. I'm not sure whether it is, but the other books I have from the library are going to be good for Sunday, I think. But that's it for tonight's story and art. Story time. It's 3 stories all around Little Red Riding Hood. A couple of them based in the a little Chinese aspect to it, that kind of to the story, and the other one just pure art. Just pure art to tell the story. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Hey. There's Roy. Hi, Roy. How are you? Nice to have you here. Anyway, so that was the stories. We had the Little Red Riding Hood. That was the one that was done in Chinese and English, and the beautiful illustrations. Then we have Little Red Riding Hood and the Dragon, where the wolf is telling us what actually happened. Telling us, and he's telling the 3 little pigs, if you noticed at the end. That was kind of funny. And then last but not least, the all visual story. Those are always kind of fun. So you guys, that's it for story and art for tonight. I'm going to go have dinner. And I will be back on Sunday. It's going to be Bob's birthday on Sunday, but I'll still be here for the story. And art, we're going to do some stuff earlier in the day. And I think that's about it. I've been doing some more of my Build-A-Bird. So I've done more of the flock, and I've got some more to paint. I'm going to work on that. And so until next time, you guys, keep creating, keep making things, keep filling your bucket and others. And until next time, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in your own mirror. Tamara, take care in your summer down there in Australia. Linda, Roy, and Aubrey on the East Coast there. I know the weather's been kind of nuts over there. You guys, Lupe, anybody else listening in? And if you're here back on replay, thanks for being here. And don't forget to give it that thumbs up and share with a friend who might like to hear some stories. and I will be back on Sunday.